and welcome to Meanwhile, a journey through the history of comic book movies. I'm your host, James Thompson, and this episode is an origin story of sorts for both this show and myself. You may have heard me from my other podcast, Geek Spotting, where we talk about everything nerdy. This, however, circles more around comic book movies, as I said in the intro. From the serials of the 1940s to the blockbusters of today, comic book movies have been around for almost as long as cinema itself. If you're anything like me, you probably have watched most of them, or have watched them for the majority of your life. I do read comics. I do read quite a bit, but it's hard to keep up. Like, I can't keep up each month. Some months I'll be right on top of things, and others I'm like 2-3 months behind. Oh well. I do make sure to watch every movie. I mean, especially even now, 2-3 come out a year? That's easy. You can watch 2 or 3 movies in a year. Reading an issue a month and trying to follow 12-15 series, a little bit harder. When a movie comes out and I hear it's based on a comic book, even if it isn't a superhero book, it's just a comic book, I'm interested. And this has introduced me to some great comics and has also led to some both fantastic and horribly fantastic movies. The darker half of me is a completionist, and since comic books are kind of, you can't be a completionist. That's why you stick to those 60-issue runs or something that's a little more reasonable, or you start from the beginning when it starts right off the bat. Then you can be a completionist. Batman? Can't be. You just can't be. There's too many books, there's too many issues. Comic book movies, sure, much more reasonable goal. Granted, I've watched most of them already, but we're going to start back at the beginning of things. Each episode, I'm going to be joined by a guest or two, and we will watch a movie based on a comic book. I'm not talking purely superhero, so Meteor Man and James Gunn's movies Super are out the door. Those are not going to be on this show. I'm also not talking about comic strips, so Dick Tracy and the Phantom, get out of here. Get out of here. We're going to go chronologically, starting at the very beginning and working towards today. So, 5-6 years from now, maybe we'll catch up to Iron Man. I don't know. We'll see what happens. These episodes will be part review, part historical context, part trivia. I want everyone to enjoy themselves, but at the same time, maybe we'll learn something. We will be going through the movie in its entirety, so there will be spoilers. So either watch the movie beforehand if you do care about spoilers, or if it's a 1940s something serial and you don't want to spend the time, it's fine. Maybe you like things being spoiled for you. We will be talking about the serials first. So from the 1940s, they are long, somewhere between 3.5 to 4.5 hours, depending on the length. It's usually 12 to 15 episodes. Each one's about 15 minutes. And they do take some getting used to. So if you've never watched older movies, especially older movies made for a 10 to 12-year-old boy demographic, they take some getting used to. The first one that will be coming up will be The Adventures of Captain Marvel, and it is considered one of the best serials out there. If you could make your way through that and enjoy it, it'll be a little bit easier. If you've watched the best, it's easy to watch the worst at that point. Many of them can be found on archive.org or YouTube, so that helps, at least starting the show off. Hopefully, you'll join me on this journey I'm going to be making. I will be your Sherpa of sorts up the mountain of comic book movies. So like I said, the first episode will be 1941's Republic serial, The Adventures of Captain Marvel, which you can find on YouTube. You can find it on archive.org. I'm sure you can find it anywhere else. I mean, you can find it on YouTube, let's be honest. That's probably where you're going to find it. It's in pretty good quality, so that's good. Some of them are going to be a little bit harsher, but this first one is so popular amongst people who do like serials that it has made its way to DVD even. So you could find a copy of the DVD. It'll probably be expensive, but let's be honest, you're going to go to YouTube. So thanks for listening to this origin episode. You'll be able to find the episodes on iTunes and Stitcher Radio, so make sure to subscribe and like and rate, review, all that good stuff. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We'll put up screenshots of the movies, trivia up on that maybe we mentioned in the episode, or maybe something I missed. So if I do an entire episode and you're like, hey, that wasn't true, or you missed this fact, or maybe you didn't notice this, that's where we can supplement to the shows. I'll see you next time for The Adventures of Captain Marvel. Bye.